This could be dumbass of the day, but I just can't wait. I can't hold it. I can't hold back anymore. Wendy Williams, who is she still on TV? I think she must be, right? She's still on TV here. I don't think she's on TV here anymore.
I don't.
She used to be on when I got home.
Didn't she have some kind of disease, and then she decided to do away with the show?
No, she's still doing the show because she was just talking about Donald Trump coming back from the hospital with. Well, I'll tell you what she.
I'll find out what the deal is.
Don't be afraid of Cornova.
Cornova virus.
No.
Cornova virus is what she apparently is so out of touch, or maybe it's the disease she has where she can't think clear and say things correctly. Now listen, I'm no one to pick on people that don't say things correctly. I screw up things all the time, but something that you hear nonstop every day of your life, yeah, Cornova virus. What the hell?
Don't be afraid of Cornova. Don't let it dominate your life.
Cornova.
Sir, we are here out in the field. We are frightened of Cornova. You got it, so we could get it.
Are you kidding me?
What
kind of world do you live in that you don't know the difference between Cornova and coronavirus? I mean, I don't understand. It's been over a year now that coronavirus has been in the news cycle, and you are a host of a television show, and you're talking about current events. And obviously, she's trying to take some shot at the president there, which she loses all credibility and focus because she calls it Cornova virus or Cornova.
Don't be afraid of Cornova.
What the hell?
It's primarily aired on Fox, CW, and My Network TV affiliates across the United States.
Okay, yeah.
It regularly competes with Ellen DeGeneres' show as the top-ranked syndicated talk show with single female hosts in the demographic of women 25 to 54.
I was not in that demographic apparently because I tried to watch it and I found her she just bothered me very much.
Was it because she botched the pronunciation of coronavirus?
Yes, because she doesn't know how to pronounce
Cornova?
Coronavirus. She calls it
Don't be afraid of Cornova.
Cornova. But the funny thing is, like, if you did it once, I give you a break usually if you do it once. But then if you do it again right after,
she was.
It's funny. She used to be on
conviction. With conviction,
yes,
by the way.
Yes.
She's not like she just was some jackass social media star and they gave her a TV show. She's been in broadcasting her whole life. She's very successful at it to the point where they gave her a TV show. But she's
a disc jockey though.
Her thing is all about taking people down, and so I should have preferenced this with that because that's her whole thing. She likes to take people down. That was what her whole radio show was about, taking people down.
You should have preferenced it, or you should have prefaced it.
Right? Maybe she's dyslexic? I don't think so, Sammy. I think this has nothing to do with being dyslexic.
This goes back to everything that I've ever said about anybody who's ever been on the radio. It's not the quality of what you're saying, it's how you sound when you're saying it.
Don't be afraid of Cornova.
There you go. Go. Way to embrace those radio roots, Wendy.
Angry Andrew on a tractor wants to know who this woman is. Hopefully I just explained it to you, all right? She has a daytime TV show, and it was on here locally on KSBY. They took her off, and they put another woman on that has short
And
hair.
Jeremy wanted to preference the fact that she likes to tear people down. Not preface, but preference.
Her name is Wendy Williams. Rod Stewart apparently has had a big ongoing feud with Elton John. Did you know this?
No, I didn't.
He talks about it here.
The last time I emailed him and said, I have this football pitch. Would you like the boys to come up and play on this? They're quite welcome. He never got back to me. So we were real close. I mean, we were very close when we both lived in Berkshire, just around the corner. And sad.
Life's too short?
Yes, it is.
That was Rod, right?
No. Yeah, that was right.
It was okay. I just wished it hadn't have been a musical. No, I don't mean that. I mean the dancing outside the council house made it a bit Mamma Mia, I think.
Right.
Obviously talking about the Rocket Man movie there, which I never saw. But hopefully they can... come on, you guys are like ancient. Get over your issues, all right? You've got less time on the earth than you do, I don't know, tours. But time to get along. We got a guy that knows how to play guitar on the phone. He knows how to make a guitar too. Gary Kramer from Kramer Guitars. Gary, good morning. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Hey, good morning. Thanks, guys, for thinking about me during this tragic time.
Well,
we lost another great hero. So
yeah, it's so sad. Yesterday, it was the outpouring on social media was, so big. It's like one of those. And Eddie Van Halen never had a lot to say. He always said it with his fingers on his and yours, I guess, guitars. And it was just the outpouring that came out yesterday. I did not expect that because I think a lot of people knew that he was sick for a while. Did you have any knowledge of how sick he had been over the past couple of years?
Well, I knew he was suffering with throat cancer, and he'd gone back to either Austria or Germany to see a specialist, and I hadn't heard a word for a long, long time because I kind of figured he was in remission, but evidently not. So, no, I didn't. And yesterday when I was working in my vineyard, and I don't have any cell out there, I didn't really receive a phone call till late in the afternoon to find out that he actually died. My wife called me, and I just dropped the phone in the middle of my vineyard. I was stunned. It was unbelievable.
Talk about the that relationship a little bit, and kind of how it got started, how you met, and how that decision was made that he was going to go with Kramer Guitars.
Well, it pretty much went a different way because I kind of left Kramer Guitars back in the late 70s, towards 1978. My partner Dennis kind of took over. I came out here to California to become an artist relations manager because I wasn't going to live back in Jersey anymore. And my relationship with Eddie was only at the NAMM shows every year. Are you guys familiar with the NAMM show?
I've heard of it before. It's music, business, trade type show, right?
It's just a huge music convention at the Anaheim Stadium. And in the early 80s, Dennis would call me up, and he would tell me that Eddie had just come aboard, and they were signing him, and then he was trying to get him to get together with Floyd Rose, obviously, who makes that tailpiece tremolo, because Eddie could never really keep his guitars in tune because there wasn't anything out there yet. And when Floyd and Kramer and Eddie all came together in one big pot, they put together this guitar, and then that's when Kramer just took off and flew. I would get phone calls from Dennis at the factory saying that the rumor is Eddie's going to be here today, and all the employees would dress up for it, and people would come around, he was just so popular. And at the NAMM show, we'd have these huge booths where we'd be showing our guitars and our products, and if Eddie was going to be there to kind of, because he was an endorsee, hundreds of people would come. And of course, later on, Kramer would throw the biggest parties ever. They would rent the Anaheim Civic Center for the entire show for Eddie. There'd be people like Billy Idol there, and Steve Stevens, and so on and so on. But my relationship with Eddie basically was only at NAMM shows because I was here in California, and we would share beers together. We would talk once in a while about guitars and why I was in guitars. And, I don't play guitar. And he says, I know Leo Fender and Gary Kramer, only two guitar makers that don't play. So we laughed about that,
How does that work? How does that work that you don't play guitar?
Well, it's like the guy who builds Boeing jet planes doesn't fly a jet plane. Right. He's got engineers and people who follow his design. Pretty much the same way. I've always had luthiers that had worked for me, and if I had a design and I would think about it at night, I'd go back to the tables the next day and I'd tell luthiers or designers, this is how I want it, this is what is going to happen. That's how that works. So
at the Gary Kramer Guitar Cellars in Paso Robles, if we asked you to take one of the guitars off the wall and plug it into an amp and play it, you would not be able to do so?
No. Absolutely not. I've probably taken guitar lessons for the last 60 years, and I can never do it. I have no dexterity in my left hand whatsoever.
Really?
But I know a good guitar player when I hear one, and I've heard a lot of guitar players.
Now,
and by the way, guys, I'm sitting in my tribute. Eddie, I'm sitting right now at the Cellars in a room where it's a tribute to Eddie, and I kind of have a tear in my eye because I'm looking at his guitar and I'm looking at all the photos and all the pictures and everything he did through the years. So
it's quite a setup that you have at the Guitar Cellars, and anybody, I know that, with coronavirus and some of the things that you got going on, you haven't been open for a while. Do you have a guesstimate of when you will be reopening again?
All right. Well, I've taken advantage of the coronavirus, and the buildings that are directly behind me, I was able to purchase them. And I've got another 4,000 square feet that we've been building a beautiful venue in. It's got a complete state-of-the-art new stage with a lighting system. It can facilitate about 65 people. We've expanded our kitchen, so it'll be like a dinner club. It'll be actually the only showcase club around in Paso Robles, other than the Siren. The only thing we won't have here is hard liquor unless we have a private club. Then we have a private club, I can open up the bourbon bar.
I got you. So it'll be obviously Kramer wines, and then it'll be what? Could you have beer there too?
Well, I have beer, and the ABC gave me. I'm basically the only wine tasting lounge in the area that can serve beer because we have a kitchen, and I have somebody right now making me a beer. An IPA, it's called 5150 Kramer Crazy.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, and it's actually in one of Eddie's decorative cans with the stripes on it. So it's pretty cool. Good beer too.
So do you have a anticipated date in which you'll be rocking and rolling? Pardon the pun, with the new facilities.
Yeah, I'm looking at about 6 more weeks. It's just been a real toll because I brought instruments out of my safe that nobody had seen for 40 years, maybe 45 years, that are now encased in the walls in there. So I'm making it really special. On top of what I already have here, the new room is even different. And I don't have LED lights in the cases I have here now because they didn't exist when I built this place 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now everything in the new venue with the stage and the dance floor is all LED lit up in the walls. It's neat. I'm very proud of it.
Oh, we're excited.
Sounds like
I can't wait for everybody. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting.
You got to wait for the Rona.
It's good that you're offering up that for Paso Robles because there's nothing really. I mean, there's a lot of tasting rooms, but not a lot of event space like that where you can get a bunch of people together once everything settles down.
Once the governor lets us have fun again, right? So, what is the plan? What is the plan with this space? Are you thinking about actually booking bands to play like other venues do? Are you looking at renting this out as a private space for banquets? All of the above?
Well, actually, my plan is I'm trying to get the best bands booked in here that I possibly can around. And then, of course, there's people already that want to book it for private events. They want to have a wedding party here or a birthday party here, privately. Which we can accommodate because we're hiring guest chefs that are coming in. I think my wife wants to do it twice a month. She's going to have a guest chef come in. It'll be like a supper club. We'll have a special band playing, and then we'll serve our wine, and it'll be one of those kind of events that they have over at the big wineries. But you don't really have to drive that far. So if you drink too much, you can just get into an Uber, and it only costs you $6 instead of $60.
Centrally located. I like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like getting in a car and then looking at your Uber account the next morning. You go, $85? What the hell?
Yeah, I know. I know. But if you're in town and you need to go, because my friend Carmine from Diambino's, unfortunately they closed down, not because of the corona, but he's 14 years doing it, and he's just kind of burnt out and tired. And I tried to buy a lot of the equipment over there from him, all the special lighting, stage lighting, but he's leaving it for the new person who decides to rent that building, if anybody does.
Oh, wow. I didn't know Diambino was closing up, that they had closed up shop. It's like, I live down in the South County, Gary, and so I don't even make it up to North County unless I was doing something. But now we can't do anything. Well, we haven't been able to do anything, so I haven't been up there in a while. I can't wait to get up to Paso Robles. Can't wait to see this new venue for you. Before we go, I just feel like, Eddie was obviously a very unique person, and I didn't realize this morning that he had never taken a guitar lesson until I started kind of reading through and sifting through some of the stuff that we had here this morning. But obviously you guys had a relationship, and one unique thing about Eddie that really struck you that you didn't see in other guitar players.
Well, obviously, he invented tapping. I've never seen that before. And I remember one time that he actually took a Makita drill. I don't know if you ever seen that video, but I actually saw him do it in person. He took a Makita drill to his strings and actually played a song.
Really? I never saw
that. Yeah, it sounded pretty good too. The spinning part of the Makita, the big part. Well, he actually turned it on and he ran that up and down the strings, and yeah, it was incredible.
Just the innovation to even try that. You'd be like when you're sitting around, you're playing on the guitar, like it catches your eye out of the corner. You're like, I wonder what that would sound like on the deck. As a player.
Yeah, and Eddie, Eddie didn't read music at all. Yeah. Everything was by ear. Amazing. It's just such a tragedy that another great guitar player is just gone. It's just he's probably walking that stairway to heaven right now, and who's going to be at the top to greet him is Stevie and Jimmy right now.
Yeah,
and they're probably going to ask him how to play.
Man, if you could get, when it's all said and done, Gary, you get an event space up in heaven. Hey, you got some good connections, my friend.
Yeah, that'd be nice,
Well, thanks for jumping on and taking a few minutes to talk about Eddie. And then I'm excited to see this new venue up in Paso Robles. You can check out Gary and what he's got going on at GaryKramerGuitarSellers.com. Get in there. You can taste some of that award-winning wine, as well as, of course, see what they have to offer. A beautiful place. You got to go check it out, downtown Paso. And Gary, we'll chat with you soon, man. Hopefully next time on better circumstances.
Very good, guys. And thanks for thinking about me during this time, and I'll keep you posted on when things open up here.
Definitely do so, because
all right.
It's a phenomenal place before the expansion. I mean, now it's going to be a treat for any music lover, especially on the rock and roll side of things, to a must visit for Paso Robles.
If my bedroom ever becomes a crime scene, I hope the detectives know the difference between signs of a struggle and me just getting up like every other morning.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3.
Jeff and Jeremy here. Good morning, Seth. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right.
Not so bad. And you?
It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's Know the Show. It's $25 to go to Federico's, downtown San Luis Obispo. This is Richard. Hey, Richard, good morning.
I think I have the Cornova. I'm sorry.
The Cornova.
The Cornova.
The Chrysler. Oh, Chrysler. He's got the Cornova. Sorry.
Combination of the Cornet and the Nova.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, my Chevy Nova.
Yeah.
Do we have a Tennessee Titan on the phone with us? Is that what's going on?
Oh, quit it. Tighten up.
So this is a Las Vegas Raider, unfortunately.
Richard Shelton from the Tennessee Titans joining us right now. We need to know this morning, where would Gary Kramer? Where's the only place that Gary Kramer said that he ever talked to Eddie Van Halen?
That would be at the NAMM show in Anaheim, California, sometime in towards the end of January every year.
Yeah. He'd be there, and he'd be shelling out the guitars and the equipment. And,
so we talked to him over in NAMM.
Yeah.
Da Nang, I think it was.
NAMM show's a big deal in the music industry. Have you ever been, Seth? I know you're.
I know of it.
You fancy yourself a musician?
Yeah, but I always tell people I play this stuff. I don't read it. It's like, what do you have a blah 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 blah? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. It's a red one.
Yesterday, after the news broke, and I believe Suzanne shared it on some form of social media or something, you could look at probably Facebook on KZOZ, that Eddie Van Halen was all about getting guitars to adapt to his playing style, to the point where he had filed for a patent for a guitar that would have like a platform that would sit up against his belly.
Yeah.
So he could hold it upright and play it upright. So it's like facing up.
Yeah, it would hold still.
Oh, instead of off his hip.
Yeah.
Because he liked to
with
play
a strap,
forward.
Yeah. So he could sit there and play it with this like weird, like, I equate it to current day, those desks that you have people that stand up at.
Yeah.
And you could like sit down, you can push it down. Suzanne has one at her desk.
Yeah.
You could push it down and you could sit down and work, or you could put it up and then you could stand up and work.
So is this like a little telescoping thing that you can
it was
pull out
it was
of the
a
guitar?
weird platform, and he had actually filed a U.S. patent for it because he wanted to get it developed but never got around to it. And it probably is like ultimate dorkness if you're like rocking out, then all of a sudden you got like, wait, hold on a second, I gotta get my
gotta make an adjustment here.
My back brace guitar.
Well, that's right. You have David Lee Roth run around the stage. Hey, we're getting really hot tonight. Do his ad libs.
Yeah, he's probably afraid that David was going to make fun of him for breaking out his geeky guitar.
Maybe.
Hold on the line, buddy. We got you $25 to go down to Federico's Fresh Mex. It's downtown San Luis Obispo at 851 Higuera Street. The freshest ingredients with that aloha spirit. Federico's puts the fresh in Mex.
Federico's Fresh Mexican.
We got to get out of here. Seth is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
93.3 KZOZ rocks.